having a great winter garden. My garden is just really lush and beautiful right now, but there's signs of spring everywhere. And some of the things that normally don't come out in February are starting to break dormancy, like the plumbago. It's starting to grow. I'm seeing buds on my yuccas. So a lot of things are coming out and growing fairly early. So I'm beginning to think that we're going to have some hot weather very quickly. Last year we had a really cold winter and then it transitioned into spring very quickly, and we didn't really have a lot of cold days after March. So I think that may be what we're going to be experiencing this year, but it's different every year. So I think we need to start thinking about transitioning into the spring garden before temperatures get too warm all of a sudden. So I'm starting to harvest heads of lettuce instead of just cutting leaves on my plants. Even with the kales, I'm cutting out whole stems of kale rather than just cutting leaves off of every plant. You may need to start shading some of your crops as temperatures increase to over 75 degrees. Many of the lettuces will start to bolt and get bitter, and some of your kales may start to get really strong tasting too. Now, many plants that we put in the spring are very temperature sensitive. Things like tomatoes, peppers, and eggplant don't like to be exposed to temperatures below 45 degrees. So I pot them up in 1 gallon or 6-inch pots to delay that time to put them in the garden. I can keep them in my greenhouse and let them grow, and then put them out when temperatures are up a little higher, but I haven't lost valuable time with those plants growing and flourishing in the garden. Now, the other timing issue, especially with tomatoes, is that many tomatoes don't set fruit well when temperatures get over 90 degrees. So it's important to put those plants out early. Otherwise, you'll have really lush plants, but no fruit on them. Another thing that you'll start to see, especially since we've had a mild winter, we may see a lot of bugs on our plants. And harlequin bugs are one of those harbingers of spring that I just really dislike. They attack quickly, and it seems like the numbers are exponential on them very, very quickly. And they're very difficult to eradicate. It's very time consuming. I've sprayed them, I've vacuumed them off of the plants, but I think I've learned now that once harlequins show up in great numbers, it's just time to pull those plants out. If you can dry, or freeze those plants to preserve them, best to probably get them out of the garden and do that. Now, if you've got things like late season potatoes, you can follow those with heat-loving plants because you won't probably harvest those potatoes out until May. So you can still plant things like okra and peppers, melons, black-eyed peas in those sections of the garden where you've had potatoes. But it is important to have a planting plan so you know where you're going to be putting things and you know which plants need to come out first. So that helps you plan from year to year and know what areas of your garden you're going to be pulling up first because you need those areas for plants. It also helps me avoid going to the nursery and buying way more plants than I have room to put in, and that happens to me a lot. So for Backyard Basics, I'm Trisha Shirey. I hope you have a great spring garden.